Bungie is really cranking up the reveals and all of the new details that we're getting about the Edge of Fate to 11. So today we've got a Dev Insights blog post from July 2nd, 2025 from the dev team going over weapons and gear tiering. So I figured why not go ahead and go over it, give you guys kind of like a breakdown on everything they're talking about and give some of my thoughts. And I want to know what your guys' thoughts are down in the comment section below. So today we're going to be diving into Dev Insights. Again, if you guys enjoy the video, make sure you guys subscribe. That is step number one. And if you really liked the video or if you found it helpful or kind of insightful and you want to start up a conversation down in the comments, please do. With all that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. So Dev Insights, weapons and gear tiering. Hey y'all, the rewards team is here today to chat about gear tiers in Destiny 2 Edge of Fate. New loot to chase in Destiny 2 should provide meaningful choices and upgrades to your arsenal. Loot should offer new build crafting options and novel ways to play, and there should be some prestige coming from tackling the hardest content reflected in rewards with perks and visuals to show off to your peers. As weapons and armor have grown in complexity in the last few years, which, yes, they have indeed, so too has the challenge of being able to discern the value of a piece of loot. In short, we've lost some of that chase and excitement, and we've not always made it clear on how to upgrade. In the Edge of Fate, we set out to accomplish several goals to make Destiny's 2 loot chase more meaningful. Gear tiering aims to provide new buildcraft options and novel ways to play, particularly with armor set bonuses, as we covered on the 626 TWID, which I did have a video on. So if you guys want to watch that video after you watch this one, I'll have a link down in the description. There should be a card popping up right now for you guys. Seasonal weapon mods, and for each gear tier to provide new mechanical benefit. This means that new drops will present more direct upgrades to your arsenal. That said, perk synergies are still the prize chase on weapons, and even lower tiered gear with synergistic perks may be stronger than higher tiers. So basically, just because you have a 5 out of 5 god roll on a tier 5 armor doesn't necessarily, or say you get like a tier 4 piece of loot, but it's like some of the perks you're like, I could probably do without that. This gives you the option to either keep the tier 1 that has the god roll that you're looking for, or try to recover a tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and tier 5 piece of loot. I personally have a couple of, shotguns from the Rite of the Nine activity that I'm definitely going to be keeping. So that's a good way to kind of discern the two. The chase to upgrade your arsenal will endure throughout the season as players pursue higher powered gear with more enhanced perks, benefits, and better stats to tackle the most difficult challenges. Lastly, we wanted the final tier for weapons to feel prestigious. These rewards come equipped with a unique shader and combat flare that ignites your enemies into celebratory blue flames when defeated, which I cannot wait. That is going to be so sick. I need to get my hands on some tier 5 loot ASAP. From 1 to 5, here's a breakdown of the new benefits provided at each weapon tier, where higher tiers inherit the benefits of all previous tiers. So tier 1, base weapon, can use new seasonal mods once acquired. Tier 2 is going to enhance the traits. Tier 3 drops with 2 traits per column. Tier 4 is going to have enhanced weapon mods, including seasonal, and enhanced weapon components like barrels and magazines. And Tier 5 is going to have enhanced origin traits, 3 traits per column, and access to a unique ornament with unique shader and a unique combat flare. Although some concepts in this list may sound familiar, there's a few new additions worth talking about. For starters, when fully masterwork, weapons will also receive a bonus to all stats equal to their tier of weapon, meaning a tier 5 weapon has a +5 stat across the board on top of the masterwork +10. So if you have a tier 1 or a tier 1 weapon rather, it will have +1 in the stats when fully masterwork, +2 for tier 2s, +2 for 3, so on and so forth. You guys get it. Next, we have seasonal mods that change the way you play within a season, offering new opportunities for build crafting. Let's not forget about enhanced mods too, like adept mods before them, which provide just an extra boost. Enhanced origin traits will boost the effect a bit more than an enhanced trait, providing an extra cherry on top for acquiring tier 5 weapons. Lastly, combat flare and the unique ornament provide a visual opportunity to show off your earnings and accomplishments, with blue flames erupting from your foes and dancing across your weapon. Not to be forgotten, owners of Sweaty Confetti, our original combat flare, will find that V900 precision capable weapons will have access to this outside of the traditional mod slot, regardless of weapon tier. So all weapons are getting Sweaty Confetti if you already had it, which is pretty much a W because I did use Sweaty Confetti for a while there. I just thought it was fun, kind of cute to play around and stuff like that. So something to keep in mind. New seasonal mods. Seasonal weapon mods were introduced in episode 3 Heresy, and we want to expand their role a bit to be available on all weapons within the season, not just a specific set, where it makes sense for that weapon archetype. In the Edge of Fate, you'll be able to acquire the following mods by exploring Kepler and completing portal activities, and below are descriptions of the mods. So starting off, we've got Temporal Loader. This weapon loads ammo from reserves when dealing damage to targets that are slowed, frozen, or suspended. So stasis weapons are definitely going to have an advantage here. Temporal Tracker. Gain a bonus aim assistance or projectile tracking for a moderate duration after picking up an Orb of Power. I'm looking at those. We knew that rocket assisted sidearms were going to be so good. If you guys didn't get a chance to get your hands on the Tanisha's Mastery sidearm, literally Temporal Loader and Temporal Tracker are going to benefit from this. And if you have, let's say, Indebted Kindness, if you guys have the Void rocket assisted sidearm, Aberrant Action from Episode Echoes, those are definitely going to be able to take advantage of those, and that's going to be amazing. Temporal Adapter. Readying this weapon grants it bonus stability, handling, and reload speed for a moderate duration that is borrowed from an alternate timeline version of the weapon. Swords gain bonus charge rate and guard resistance. Readying this weapon grants, I'm trying to figure out what this even means. From a moderate duration that is borrowed from an alternate time. We'll figure that one out. Temporal Armaments. This weapon gains bonus damage versus Cabal and Vex targets, which is super cool. And then lastly, Temporal Blast. This weapon stores a portion of its damage dealt into charges. At 5 charges, the weapon's next shot creates an explosion blast on impact that damages nearby enemies. That's gonna be insane. That's actually gonna be really, really good. I'm already thinking about Polaris Lance and that or the seasonal artifact mod that makes solar weapons do like insane amounts of damage. That's gonna be really, really good. So can't wait to play around with those. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Are these going to be W's, or are you guys going to kind of like keep using the adept, you know, stability and whatever mod? So I'm excited for a temporal adapter. I'm trying to figure out what that means. I might be drawing a blank here, but I'm trying to figure out what that means. But temporal tracker, temporal loader are going to be good for sidearms and also for any stasis weapon. Really, if you have a stasis SMG, scout rifle, whatever, it's going to be really good there. Showing the fashion. We've shown the weapons before, but it never hurts to go over how they look from tier 1 to tier 5. Here's a look at the Giver's Blessing, one of the destination weapons from Kepler. And it looks like this is a auto rifle in the rapid fire archetype. So, you know, I'm super excited. I love rapid fire anything. Looks like moving target kinetic tremors is going to be available here. And this is just a tier 1 here. So no upgraded stats. This one is fully masterworked here. So you're getting a plus 1 bump in the reload speed. And you're also getting it from the masterwork there. If we move on to tier 2, it looks like Giver's Blessing is going to have the 3rd and 4th column enhanced. So Feeding Frenzy, Kinetic Tremors, that's actually pretty nutty. With that being the main sources of the enhancements. If we move on to tier 3, it looks like you get 2 perks in column 3 and column 4, and all 4 of those traits are enhanced. If we move on to tier 4, you've got everything from your barrel, mag, perk 3, and perk 4 upgraded. And it looks like there's 2 new perks here. Adagio and Kinetic Tremors are present here, but there's 2 new perks here. I can't wait to see what those are looking like. And then tier 5, the granddaddy of all of these weapons here. The ones you guys are going to want to be chasing down, especially for raids, endgame activity, that kind of stuff. So barrel, mag, column 3, column 4, and the origin trait are all enhanced. Looks like the 2 new perks, moving target, Adagio, Kinetic Tremors, and Multi-Kill Clip are present here, so I can't wait to get my hands on this weapon. Y'all know me, I love rapid fire pretty much anything, so I'm pretty pumped for this auto rifle for sure. I hope it's the first one I get dropped. And then moving on, earning the new gear. You're probably wondering, where do I start and how do I obtain higher gear tiers? You'll begin your journey on Kepler earning tier 1 gear. With a focus on gaining power, you'll earn new weapons and slowly begin to occasionally find tier 2 gear as you unravel Kepler's mysteries. Upon completing major accomplishments or raising your seasonal power, you'll earn permanent upgrades to Kepler's reward tiers. Across Kepler, gear can be acquired via chests, by exploring and uncovering secrets, playing campaign missions, and by focusing engrams with local resources. Once the campaign is completed, new difficulties will be unlocked for replay, accessing higher gear tiers, and a post-campaign activity will appear from the time to time, providing even more Kepler loot while it lasts. Throughout the portal, modifiers will up the challenge, but also increase your chances of more rewards. The harder the undertaking and the faster you complete an activity, the higher the reward score you'll earn, providing better chances to earn higher gear tiers at the end of the activity. So you're going to be, as you bump up the difficulty as we play and gain power through the seasonal power level, and as well as the, you know, base cap, or the soft cap rather, you're going to be earning more and more and more tiers. So it's not like you're just going to be like locked in at tier 1 until you hit power 200. It's going to gradually increase as you power up, which I like that system. I know in the community I've heard a lot of like vocalization about how people don't like that method, but as someone who came from games like, you know, a lot of single player games do that, have that same like kind of linear, as you go through and get more powerful, you kind of gain more stuff. So, you know, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I'm glad they're giving us a chance to enjoy the game and not worry about, oh, I have to have these weapons now. I got to get this now. I got to get that now. So lastly, once the raid opens, players will find new challenges to acquire pinnacle tiered rewards, but we won't spill what the raid team has cooked up quite yet. That said, the challenge is mighty, but the rewards are just as sweet. We look forward to seeing how players engage with gear tiering. Some players will set goals to acquire the highest tiers, aiming for those god roll tier 5 armor and weapon drops across the game. Others will target tier 3 rewards, similar to our old adept weapons in terms of power and perks availability. Ultimately, players can decide what kind of tiers they wish to chase, and with 3 distinct ways to target gear tiers across Kepler, Portal, and Raid content, we're excited to see where and how people acquire new gear. And I must say, Bungie, like, I remember back in like the Shadowkeep days where it felt like every weapon was just kind of like, here you go, figure out what you're gonna do with this weapon. And if you didn't get the role that you wanted, it was just kind of like, I'm just gonna dismantle it, shard it, if you will. But I feel like this is an opportunity for us to like really dive in and dial in our builds and stuff like that. And also, like they said, give each drop that you get in the game a reason to have it, right? Right now, my vault is filled with trash. Like a bunch of stuff that I literally have never used. Some of them have 0 kills on them between PvP and PvE, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. So I'm glad that I'm actually going to be able to choose and differentiate. That's the other thing. For new players, they're going to be able to differentiate what's worth keeping versus what's not. So if you have a tier 4 gear that's almost perfect, but you have a tier 2 that is perfect, because if you look, if you have a tier 2 weapon that's almost perfect, but you have a tier 3 that is perfect, but you also have a tier 5 that could use some adjustments here and there, you can use the tier 3 and still get what you need out of it. I really like that about the new tiering system, and with gear and armor, it's gonna be way better to discern. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you guys think that the tier system is a good choice? Is it a good move by Bungie? Me personally, I'm in the camp that it is, but I know a lot of people are kind of hesitant. We'll have to wait to see how it plays out when we get it in hand. But with all that being said, I have been Trey9, and if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button, get subscribed. I am doing a TLDR on the developer live stream. I'm actually editing that video as this video goes live. So if you do want to watch that, make sure you guys have your notifications turned on, get subscribed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.